and this is the last thing, and this has been on my mind for quite a while, but the municipal shelters all over the U.S. have been in a crisis for quite some time. Every time I go to a shelter, it's 90% large breed dogs. And it's, as someone who is, I just love dogs, and I'm an empath, it's not in my lane. The Huskies, the Rottweilers, the Pit Bulls, all these large breed dogs, they're not in my lane, but it affects me. And I have empathy for the plight of all these large breed dogs. There are more dogs entering the shelters every day than are leaving. And there is a finite amount of homes available who can absorb a large breed dog. Not everyone has the lifestyle to handle a high energy dog like a Husky or a German Shepherd. Not everyone has the ability to adopt these large breed dogs. So spay-neuter is the only way. Prevention is the only way to stop the massive euthanasia of all of these large breed dogs in our shelters. And in Los Angeles City and LA County, every day there's like boxes of large breed dogs showing up every single day. Either pregnant dogs showing up that give birth in the shelter. Every single day there are more large breed dogs entering the shelters than are leaving. There are, you know, the puppies that we have right now, Sandy's puppies, almost every single shelter in Los Angeles or Los Angeles County has puppies that look exactly like them. And chances are they may not even leave the shelter. They may end up getting euthanized. What happens is, as soon as puppies enter a shelter and they get sick or they get parvo, they get euthanized. And that's just, it's a crisis. So large breed dogs are not in my lane, but I care about them. And I want to be involved in the solution. So this is, like I said, totally outside of my lane. None of my business. Large breed dogs getting euthanized are not my business, but I want to solve that problem. I can't solve it by myself. It's going to take hundreds of thousands of rescuers exactly like me trying to do a small part to start to offer spay-neuter services in areas where the need is so high. So I don't think Camp Cocker supporters are necessarily going to want to donate monthly to a spay-neuter program. So, and I understand, because it's just a completely different direction to take our nonprofit in. However, I've been working with our vet. She's been helping me with a budget for what it would cost to do spay-neuter pop-ups. And I'm looking at either probably starting in the Los Angeles County shelter that has the highest euthanasia rate right now of large breeds, and that's up in Lancaster, California. So I'm working on a budget for a grant, and then I'm going to start submitting a grant proposal to as many funders and foundations that I can find online. If you work for a company or a corporation that might sponsor a spay-neuter pop-up, I have the approximate budget to spay, and I want to focus on spay-neutering for free in low-income areas, dogs that are 40 pounds and more. I want to start with that group, because that's the group that's making new litters, and then more of those litters are making more litters, and then boxes of puppies are showing up in the shelters and they're being euthanized. So I want to start with dogs 40 pounds and up. The budget I have it works out to be approximately $250 per dog. And if I do 100 dogs in one pop-up, that would require 2 or 3 vets, probably 3 veterinarians, several registered vet techs, and supplies, anesthesia, drugs, fluids. Actually, I don't know if we're going to do fluids. Pain meds to go home with, antibiotics. So that number of $250 a dog is an average, because some dogs may only cost $150 or $200, but other dogs, like for example, if a male dog needs a crypt orchid surgery, that's abdominal surgery, and that's a much different surgery than a straightforward neuter. So the average is going to be $250 a dog. So to do 100 dogs in one pop-up, one spay neuter pop-up day, would cost $25,000 for one day to do 100 dogs. The result of spaying and neutering 100 large breed dogs is going to have an effect a year later in that shelter district. And if we can start doing these pop-ups multiple days a month, it's just slowly the effects of spaying and neutering the communities that need it the most with the large breed dogs is going to directly affect the intake numbers of those shelters of large breed dogs 6 months, 12 months, 18 months later.